Chef's kiss, okay? Peak male written by a woman energy.
I literally cannot go back into my job and sit at my desk because this book is destroying me right now. Like, I can't even. Sarah J. Maas, if she can't do anything else, that woman can write an ending. Wow.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm a local hippie, and today we're going to be talking about Sarah J. Maas's Fire. The intro that I have is from like the ending of the book and how it just had me going crazy. Actually, I think I finished it almost a week ago to the day. I finished it last Monday.
Hey, Kristen in editing here. So I'm putting this video out way late. Um, and I filmed this like literally the week after I finished Fire, but I'm posting it probably almost a month later. So please disregard the time frames because I filmed this video a while ago and I'm just getting it out now.
Um, and yeah, so that's where that intro is coming from. But it really had me just screaming, crying, melting down the wall, having a toddler tantrum because Sarah J. Maas just knows how to write an ending really, really well. Um, essentially, what I did was I read The Assassin's Blade in between Crown of Midnight and between Air of Fire, and I'll keep saying until the death of me that I thought that was the best way to go about it. Maybe I'll feel differently at the end of Queen of Shadows because maybe you'll want to like take a break. Maybe I'll want to take a break or something like that, just because I imagine there would be so much going on. But basically, we pick up um, in Airfire right where we left off in at the end of Crown of Midnight. But why I think it was so good to do the Assassin's Blade in between as the third book was because you get so much of Selena's story, and so many of them are brought up in Air Fire. Like I remember reading Air Fire and just being like, "Oh yeah, like this is why you should read The Assassin's Blade in the middle," because I think there's so many things that after you've already read three books and there are two books between Assassin's Blade and Air Fire to where it'll just go over your head, especially if you're not super invested in the story. You're going to miss so many of the Easter eggs that are in the Assassin's Blade um, in Air Fire that just make everything to me makes the story make so much more sense, lends so much more substance to everything that has happened. Yes, everything that has happened up until this point. So, as I was saying before, Air Fire starts off right where we left off in Crown of Midnight, with Selena heading for Winland. Uh, And then she gets there. Of course, we meet Rowan. We meet her great great grand aunt, who is a very shady lady. And we meet a quite expansive cast of characters in this book. And we're learning so much more about Aelin, who Selena is stepping into this personality of Aelin, this side of herself that she's had to hide and had to lie about and keep hidden for all of her life up until this point. And even when we find out in this book that even when she was, you know, the princess when she was a little girl before everything went horribly wrong, she still couldn't really be herself because people were afraid of her and afraid of her losing control. Um, and people just didn't understand her. So even back then, she was misunderstood. So Selena literally, quite literally, spent her entire life being misunderstood. And again, reading Assassin's Blade before this helps you to kind of understand her a lot better and to empathize with that. Because I'm going to be honest with you, in Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, I was not empathizing with Selena at all. Was not vibing with her. Did not feel her character at all whatsoever. No, 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 no. No, I didn't like her. Um, but I'm not going to say that the Assassin's Blade cured all of that, but I'm going to go on a limb and say that those novellas kind of lent a little bit of complexity to her story, and to her character that was lacking in the main series up until that point. So we and that is furthered in Air Fire. We're seeing her fail. We're seeing her like not succeed at anything. Basically, like we're seeing she's having a hard time. You know, it's not like everything is being handed to her. She's it's yeah, it's rough. She's having a rough old time, and trying to come into her powers, trying to accept herself, trying to accept her abilities, trying to learn how to tame them. And then we meet Rowan, of course, and he's so mean. He's just so mean and prickly, and just but we also get his backstory, and we understand why he is the way he is. And then we find out that he's like the most loyal, most steadfast, most just like stick by your side kind of man that every girl wishes she could have. And you know, there's a lot of character building, I think, in Air of Fire. And even with Dorian and with Kaol, even though yeah, I don't care for Kaol that much. I really don't care for him that much. But in Dorian, he's just like a little golden retriever, and it's like, how could you not love him? How could you not? And then we get Adian, who is also another fiercely loyal male, and it is just chef's kiss, okay? Peak male written by a woman energy, like peak, okay? Because we all just want that steadfast, immovable kind of male presence in our life, because there's nothing in this world that could replace it. And I just, yeah. And he's a complex character as well. People think that he's one thing when really his motives are totally different, and all fueled by wanting to protect his people and wanting to keep them safe, and just you know, wanting to have the kingdom that he was always supposed to have, and the life that he was always supposed to have as the protector, as the right hand, if you will, of Aelin. And so it's been a week since I read it, so I'm, you know, everything, and I read it pretty quickly too. So everything is kind of just muddled. I just remember how I felt about it. And I guess that brings me to my rating. I rated it 5 stars because I just enjoyed Airfire through and through from beginning to end. And again, I owe that to Assassin's Blade. Um, and the appreciation it lent me that I don't think I would have had otherwise. And so for this story and for these characters, I don't think I would have had those things if I hadn't have read um the Assassin's Blade. I just keep shouting out Assassin's Blade. I just feel like you should read Assassin's Blade #3. You should. It just makes sense. But yeah, so I rated it 5 stars. I rated Assassin's Blade 4 stars. I already did a review on that. But and that ending of Airfire just totally just blew my mind. It was so emotional, and you come to care about characters who are these secondary, third kind of like characters that aren't really close to your heart, but you still feel for them at the end of this novel, and you still you it just evokes such strong emotion in you. And I think Sarah J Maas above all is so good at that emotion, at driving that emotion through the reader. And it made me really want to just jump into Queen of Shadows. And then I realized I was moving too fast and that I didn't want to just be zooming through the series. I kind of want to take my time a little bit. So I haven't um, dove back into the series as of yet, but I will be. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of content I want to make on Queen of Shadows. I'm leaning more towards a book commentary instead of a vlog. I'll save the vlog for Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms because I'll be tandem reading those, which is crazy because I've never done that. So we're going to be doing that. But um, yeah, this series is so much better than I ever could imagine it would have been. And I appreciate it, which is something I never thought that I would say. But with that, that's going to bring us to the end of the video. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good evening. And most importantly, I hope you read a good book. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye.